perfectly. Of course, Baker's the starter. And this is not a pro Baker Mayfield take. I am pro Baker Mayfield. I do think Baker Mayfield has a lot of good football left in him. But this is not about Baker Mayfield. This is about the person he is competing with, who has quite simply been the worst quarterback in the NFL since he got to the NFL. Yes, Baker was better in college. Yes, Baker was better as a rookie. And yes, Baker has been better over the breadth of his career. But any quarterback they brought in who had starting experience would have been better than Sam Darnold over the breadth of his career. And it is not just that. The last 2 years, which we've shown you this graphic before, but we will show it to you again. The last 2 years, Darnold has been unspeakably bad, and that is with two different teams. And both of those teams didn't have the worst offensive line and the worst skill position and the worst coaches and the worst everything. The consistent factor is Darnold. But somehow, Brew, and there is a bit, listen, there are some drawbacks to my, at times, crippling gambling habit, but there are some benefits as well. And one of the benefits is I watch a lot of games that I'm not sure everyone's locked into. I'm not sure how many people are like, gotta see if the Panthers are gonna cover the 9.5 this week. So I watched Darnold down the stretch last year, before he got benched and after he got benched. And a guy, Brew, who has been terrible throughout his career, played his worst football of his career most recently. Can we show Darnold's numbers just quickly after the hot start? Here's what Darnold, look at these numbers. This is after week 4 of last year. That's 4 touchdowns. That's getting benched during a game for P.J. Walker. Cam Newton took over. Darnold then came back. A passer rating of 58. And I'm going to read you a quote and then I'll shut up. When he got benched for P.J. Walker and Matt Rule was asked about what Darnold needed to improve, here is the quote. Throwing on time, taking the open receiver, being patient, protecting the football, and not throwing off his back foot. So everything is what he needed to improve, and then he just got worse. So no, Sam Darnold is not going to be the starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
First of all, let me say, Jenna, it is also great to have you back. I love the energy. The energy you're bringing is awesome. I love it. All right. And if Baker Mayfield does that, like Nick said, he'll win the job. But the Carolina Panthers have this right. He must win the job. They shouldn't have the attitude of Nick Wright, that he's our starting quarterback. What's he done so great to be the automatic starting quarterback? Go out there and earn it. And you're right about Darnold. I get all of that. I'm not saying he's been great, and I do think Baker is better, and I think Baker will beat him out. But Baker, who's accomplished more than Darnold to this point, has also had way more around him. For all the offensive coordinators, all the head coaches that Baker has had, he's also had several Pro Bowl wide receivers. He's also had one of the best running games in the NFL with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. He's also had a top-flight offensive line. All right? Sam Darnold's had none of those things. And when Sam Darnold did have Christian McCaffrey for, say, the first 3 games of last year, he was 3-0 and averaging almost 300 yards a game. So I'm just saying I'm down. I'm fine with it being an open competition. And if Baker Mayfield doesn't win that competition, would I be dumbfounded? No, I wouldn't. Because I'm not gonna. Baker Mayfield hasn't been that good. Why? What's he done? Here's the other thing, guys. Intangibles. All right? I personally like Baker Mayfield's spunk and his confidence and his intensity, but do his teammates? I mean, who came to bat for Baker, even anonymously, when OBS, Odell Beckham Sr., just went off on him with the viral video? Anyone? Who came out when Baker was embarrassed by the franchise? What teammates came out and supported him after the Deshaun Watson trade or after his surgery even? We saw one anonymous quote. That's it. So the intangibles are another part of this equation, Wilds. So, yeah, I think Baker's better, But I am fully 100% on board with an open competition and may the best man win.
I would just like to add one point, because one of the things Bruce said, Wilds, which has just become canon, is that Baker Mayfield walked into this amazing situation, had all this talent, and Darnold, by the way, you know, he had the Jets and then he had the Panthers. The Cleveland Browns were coming off an 0-16 season when Baker got there, and the year before they were 1-15. So for all the talent that they had, somehow they had won one game in 2 years before Baker got there. He wasn't, this isn't James Worthy getting drafted to the Lakers with Magic and Kareem. It's like, oh, I mean, they were the laughingstock franchise of the NFL when Baker got there. And while he was there, they had 4 coaches and 4 offensive coordinators. They just were. Now, yeah, did they acquire some talent? Yes, but they were.
The rest of the stuff, some talent, great receivers, great running backs, great offensive line. So come on, let's be fair.
Okay.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Wilds.
All right, Broussard, this is why I don't think it's a open competition. I'll tell you, I'll put a scenario out there for you. Suppose you and I were going to go out to dinner, okay? You say, Wilds, where should we go? Should we go to the place that we went to last time, right in the city, nice and easy for us? I say, no, Broussard. I'm going to take you to my favorite little New England shanty, little coastal New England. It specializes in seafood. You will love it. I don't want to go to the steakhouse we normally go to. Let's go to this seaside shanty. And we go, and we drive up there. We got to do all this different stuff. It's a little bit of a pain. And when we sit down and I'm ready to place my order, I look at the waiter and I say, you know what? I'm going to have the steak. You're right, Broussard. We should have gone back to the steakhouse. You're like, what are we doing? Why are we even here? That's Baker. If you're going to go through this long, drawn-out thing with Baker, are we going to get him? Are we not? How much are we going to trade for him? How much are we going to do a $5 million hit to the cap? And then just not to follow through on it? Just to go back to the same old Darnold who you proved you didn't believe in when you benched him not once but twice? He's gotten hurt. He had a concussion injury. He had a shoulder injury. He got benched previous to that. They brought him back early for the Patriots. They're like, we shouldn't have brought him. Lost there. They need to just turn the page. And I think by starting Baker, if they wanted to stay with Darnold, they wouldn't have brought Baker in. They would have just gotten a plain old, boring, traditional backup quarterback.
That's correct.
So that's why I think it's, even if he loses the competition, they're going to be like, you know what? Give Baker a shot.
No, Wilds, they gave up a 5th-round pick for him, a 4th-rounder at best. He had to take a $3.5 million pay cut for them to decide to do it. They gave up more for Darnold. They're paying Darnold more. And if Darnold outplays him in training camp, you can't put Baker out there when the other players saw that Darnold was better. You'll lose the whole locker room. You got to play which quarterback is best. I think it'll be Baker. I'm with you guys on that, but I'm not with you on just, give it to Baker. He's been so great. I know he was the first quarterback in your guys' eyes to ever play through injury last year, and God bless him.
Okay.
All right? But I'm not making that excuse for him like you guys.
He was the first quarterback to win a playoff game for the Browns in my lifetime almost. But just to be clear, one clarification on Wild's fun analogy. Sam Darnold is not a steakhouse. He is a Jack in the Box that was shut down by the health department. So let's just be clear. He's not Morton's.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.